Back in college, I developed this bizarre condition where I'd get incredibly sick if I didn't kiss someone at least once a day. Every afternoon, like clockwork, I'd have to find my childhood sweetheart, Ashley, and plant one on her. Now, the damn thing's back. Even though it's the middle of summer outside, I'm shivering and sweating bullets. I need a kiss, I need to kiss Ashley. But my texts to Ashley are going unanswered. Ashley isn't usually flaky. Lately, though, she's been making excuses, showing up late, or just not at all. Then, out of the blue, I see a mutual friend post a photo on social media of them drinking bubble tea, with a geotag at the break room. A corner of the photo shows someone's hand. It's Ashley's hand. My body's screaming now, I need to find Ashley ASAP to calm this down. When I get to the break room, I immediately spot Ashley at a back table, sipping her drink. I start walking over, about to say something, when I hear her friend ask, "Where's Ethan?" Ashley put down her pool cue, her face turning ice cold, and answered, "I don't want to see him. Don't mention him around me anymore. I've always felt like Ethan isn't really into me, you know? He's probably just using me to manage his weird condition." Her friend sighed. That thing? The kissing thing? Probably just faking it. Guys are like that. I froze. Suddenly, I see some guy next to her take her hand, his eyes full of love. "Ashley, pick me. I'll never lie to you, and I'll never use you." Ashley doesn't pull away. Her friends don't seem surprised by the intimacy either, cheering them on. "Kiss. Kiss." I watch, mesmerized, as she casually puts her hand on the guy's waist. He pulls her close, excited. They're way too close, a suggestive pose. I don't know how long that goes on, but suddenly someone shouts, "Ethan, what are you doing here?" Ashley whips her head around, instinctively pulling away from the guy. I just stand there, staring at her. "Ashley, why?" She says, matter-of-factly, "Well, since you heard everything, there's not much point in hiding it." It's exactly what it sounds like. I stubbornly hold her gaze. "Why? You told me you liked me before, right?" She finally loses patience. "I don't want to be your cure anymore, okay? But I never thought of her as just a cure. She's my childhood sweetheart, my girlfriend, the person I want to be with. That's why, whenever I get sick, she's the first person I think of." I grit my teeth and lunge forward, grabbing her by the collar. Seeing the annoyance in her eyes, I get so angry I'm close to tears. The guy next to her shoves me hard. Ashley instinctively reaches out to steady me, but I dodge her hand. I stumble backward, crashing into a girl with white hair. I hear her softly groan. Looking down, I meet her amber eyes. She's beautiful, and she radiates warmth. I get flustered, my head feeling hot, and I scramble to my feet, apologizing. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." She just shakes her head. "It's okay." Her bangs are a little long, obscuring part of her eyes, so I can't really read her expression. But her voice is lovely, instantly memorable. Ashley seems a little embarrassed, but seeing I'm okay, she recovers her composure. She looks at me, her voice casual. "Actually, I was going to introduce you anyway. Why don't you two get to know each other? Consider it some compensation from me." She continued in a sarcastic tone. "You have a kissing disease, and she has tactile hunger. You can just get together, anyway you can kiss anyone." I clench my fists, unable to believe what I'm hearing. I turn and look at the girl who's been quietly watching. Her eyes are a little red, her face flushed with embarrassment. I gently take her hand. "Hi, I'm Ethan, what's your name?" She responds, "I'm Serafina." "Well, are you ready to get out of here?" She looks at me for a moment, then resolutely places her hand in mine. "Yes, I'm ready." I take her hand and we leave. Behind me, I hear Ashley call out, "Ethan, wait." But I don't stop. In the dimly lit, empty room, only the breaths of Ethan and Serafina entwined. I go home with her. After she takes me home, I suddenly reached out and grabbed her little finger, biting my lip, soft breathing, and asked, "Serafina, are you sick too?" It's been too long, my heart is being bitten by ants, unbearable pain. I know she is too. When I saw her at the pool hall, I knew she was suffering as much as I was. I'm getting sick, I'll hug you, you'll kiss me, okay? She said nothing, but her breath suddenly stopped. I hugged her waist tightly, we were almost stuck together, with only 2 layers of thin cloth between us. I could hear her heart beating fast, and gradually her heart rate became calm. I was about to let go, but she suddenly turned around and hugged me tightly in her arms. She leaned close to my neck, not enough, a little more, okay? I bowed my head and gently caressed her back. Her breath was so comfortable, I didn't know what kind of fabric softener she used, but I subconsciously took a few more breaths. She suddenly let go of me, turned her face away, covered half of her face with one hand, her eyes filled with tears. Don't smell it anymore. I nodded lightly and looked down at her. Serafina, let's kiss. A light flashed in her eyes, and she gently raised my face. Between the tangled breaths, she tried to get closer to me and whispered, "Will you regret it?" I don't regret it, it's just for treatment anyway. Moreover, she is really beautiful. I am also trying, maybe when my disease is cured, I don't need to kiss anymore. I thought it would just be a light kiss, which I don't hate. Until I could barely breathe, I pushed her away. I had only just recovered my breath for 2 seconds when her hands raised my face again, accompanied by her sweet voice. Sorry, I'm still not well, maybe I need a little more. I opened my eyes wide in surprise. Her kissing technique wasn't great, but it was becoming more and more harmonious. I secretly opened my eyes and looked at her immersed in the kiss. Her eyelashes were long, I could count every strand. The familiar beauty made me a little dazed, and I suddenly remembered that I had met her before. When I was in middle school, she was the captain of this year's team from the school next door, and also the captain in the league, often participating in various competitions. I admired her erudition to the point that throughout my middle school years, my goal was to surpass her. After that, there was no more news about her, and I gradually forgot about it. I never expected to meet her again. So, when I saw her at the pool hall, my mind was surging with waves, but I pretended not to recognize her. And the whole episode was completely empty, so I complied with her idea and left with Serafina. Go home with her. A harsh sound cut through the dim atmosphere at this moment. I panicked and pushed her away. When she opened her eyes, there was still a hint of unspent desire in her eyes. On the phone screen, I saw the familiar words, Ashley. It's been 2 hours since I left the pool hall, what is she doing here now? Serafina gently touched the screen, and the call was connected. Ashley's voice rang out in the receiver, Serafina, how's Ethan? At the same time, the person she was asking about was now tightly covered by Serafina, as if she was afraid that I still had feelings for Ashley. She looked at me, deliberately not saying a word. Waiting for the other party to be suspicious, I pushed her away forcefully, glaring, and finally she replied in a soft voice, he's very uncomfortable, he's gone back. The other end of the line breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. In the future, please pay attention to him a little. Serafina suddenly let go, looked up, and kissed me. The voice was a little mixed, okay, I will take care of him. My face turned red immediately, letting her play around in the kiss. Ashley on the other side exclaimed with disdain, why is your voice so sweet? Then, remember to let me know if there's any news about him. Ashley was not a patient person and hung up after saying a few words. Sorry, are you still uncomfortable? I shook my head, I feel better, what about you? Me too. The atmosphere was a little awkward. When I was about to say goodbye to her, she suddenly took my arm and looked straight into my eyes, just like I did before. As long as I'm sick, can you find me next time? I blushed and nodded quickly. The feeling she gives me now is very different from when we were at the pool hall. At the pool hall, her bangs covered her eyes, she was vague and a little listless. But now, her eyes are like amber, a combination of freedom and ease, as if they can suck people in. We promised to help each other with treatment, meet every day on the bench in the small forest of the school, kiss and hug each other, until one person stops or someone falls in love. I completely cut off contact with Ashley and focused on preparing for the upcoming competition. The teacher said that I had just enough points, and there was only one place left. A friend who was in the same situation was participating in the competition this time. If the opponent is ranked higher than me, I will not have a chance to protect the postgraduate. This time, the competition will have a closed training course first, and everyone must stay in the dormitory prepared by the organizer. Serafina is also participating in this competition. I tidied up my bed, looked at the clock. It was almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was time to meet her, hug and kiss. My condition has improved a lot, although it is late, it's okay. As I was walking on the road, I suddenly heard someone calling my name. When I turned around, I saw the guy from the pool hall last time. Ethan, it's really you. Ashley has broken up with you, but you still haven't given up, and you're secretly following her? After he said that, I realized that Ashley was also participating in this competition. I coldly did not answer and passed him to continue walking. But he grabbed my hand. Do you think that by participating in the competition, you can compete with me for the postgraduate protection spot? Do you know? From a young age, I have always been the best student among my friends. I don't know how many times I have participated in competitions of this level. I advise you, you better let go. This competition, this postgraduate protection, and Ashley. It turns out that he is the one who is competing with me for the postgraduate protection spot. He is Sean Clifford. Because I was in a hurry, I just nodded coldly. Can you hear me? You and Ashley are over. Don't let me see you have any contact with her again. I nodded coldly again. An itchy feeling rose in my heart bit by bit. I have to quickly find Serafina and kiss her. Sean stared at my face, then suddenly smiled and said, "Oh, you're getting sick. I really want to see what you will do to control yourself if there is no one to help you." Did Ashley tell him all this? A feeling of discomfort rose in my heart, but I kept a cold smile on my face. Okay, you just watch. After saying that, I swung my hand and slapped him hard in the face. I was about to slap him again, but my hand was grabbed and pulled to the side. Ashley immediately stood in front of Sean, looked up at me coldly. Ethan, what are you doing? If you're here just to cause trouble, I advise you to withdraw now. Although I have decided to cut off contact with Ashley, hearing this, my heart still ached a little. I maintained a calm expression and clenched my hands. I hope to see you again in the finals. Ashley suddenly stopped and stared at my face. You're getting sick, but now you don't seem as serious as before. Yes, I couldn't stand here before when I was sick. But she said casually, I told you, as long as you try hard, this disease can still be controlled. I controlled very well before I kissed her. She didn't know that I didn't control it well, but it was because Serafina and I kissed for too long. She kissed me very deeply at first, but I don't know when. She gradually prolonged the kissing time, becoming more and more perfunctory, only touching my lips lightly. Now she cares about me, not because she really cares, but just wants to see my determination, wants me to beg her. My whole body was sweating coldly, the feeling of the kissing disease came again, and my face was unnaturally flushed. I quickly turned around and was about to leave, but Ashley let go of Sean and grabbed my hand. Ethan, you're not a child anymore, can we make up? She clearly knew I was getting sick, clearly knew how uncomfortable I was now, but still wouldn't let go. Sean was dissatisfied. Ashley, don't touch him, maybe she'll like it if you touch him. I calmly looked into Ashley's eyes. Ashley, don't make me hate you. She was stunned, but her fingers gently stroked my wrist bone. Ethan, as long as you can cure this disease, as long as you learn how to control your true emotions, I will kiss you. My stomach was churning because of her words, and suddenly, a black shadow flashed past. Ashley was pushed to the ground. Sean shouted, Ashley! All the sounds around me seemed to be cut off. I fell into a warm embrace, smelled the familiar scent, and the sound of heartbeats seemed to ring in my ears. Serafina hugged me tightly. Ethan, you don't have to kiss him. She looked up and said softly to me, Ethan, I'll take you away. Only then did I realize that the sound of the heartbeat just now was not hers, but mine. I suddenly raised my head and looked at her soft chin, her pursed lips, her bright, sparkling eyes, and her furrowed eyebrows. All of this formed the origin of making my heart beat faster. Ashley got up, her eyes cold. "Serafina, don't forget what I told you." Serafina replied indifferently, "I haven't forgotten." She took my hand and led me away. Behind me was Ashley's angry roar, "Ethan, if you choose to go with her, then we will be completely over." I nodded lightly, "Then let's end it." In the storage room, discarded tables and test papers were scattered everywhere. The smell of printing ink mixed with the fragrance of wood spread in the air. I squeezed Serafina tightly in my arms, and our tongues entwined enthusiastically. I don't know why, but since kissing Serafina, my condition seems to have improved. I suddenly remembered what Ashley had just said, and I suddenly felt pain on my lips. Serafina seemed to realize my distraction and deliberately bit my lips. Then she switched to light bites, which relieved my symptoms. I finally breathed a sigh of relief and pushed her away. Gasping for breath, "Why did you come in time?" She lowered her head, her expression a little pitiful. "When it was time, if you didn't come to find me, I thought you were tired of me." But Ashley's words still hung in my mind. The symptoms had subsided, and I could finally think straight. I stared intently at Serafina, asking sharply, "What did Ashley tell you?" Serafina answered, "She told me to help her test your feelings. If you passed the test, she could confirm her feelings for you and officially be with you." I frowned. "And you agreed to that?" I didn't refuse. The color drained from my face. The image I had of Serafina, a cool and intelligent student, crumbled instantly. I pushed her away, turned, and opened the door to leave. But she hugged me tightly from behind, her breath ghosting across my ear. "I don't want to be the other woman," she said. "I just wanted you to see Ashley's true colors. That's why I didn't refuse. I just wanted to meet you openly, to be with you." I froze, letting her turn me around. She lowered her head, looking contrite. "Ethan, I'm getting sick too." Her eyes seemed to be coated with a strange, mesmerizing color. I couldn't bring myself to say no to her. I lifted her face. "Your eyes are beautiful. Let them be seen, okay?" She quietly looked at me, her gaze starting to burn with a bit of passion. "Okay." I leaned in, gently biting her lip, my hand instinctively reaching out and touching a sensitive spot, unconsciously squeezing a little. Hearing her moan, I suddenly felt the symptoms returning. Tilting my head back, I said, "Not enough." "Still not enough." "Serafina, give me a little more." She was obedient, her kisses falling wetly. "Okay, as long as you need." After going home, I tried to study for the upcoming competition, burying myself in books for 2 days straight. When I realized it, I noticed that I hadn't gotten sick at all in the past 2 days. The symptoms were finally being kept at bay. The moment I realized this, the sickness hit me again. I quickly packed up, ready to go find Serafina. As I stepped out of the men's dorm, I ran into Ashley. She was standing outside the dorm, silently waiting. I don't know how long she'd been there. Almost as soon as I walked out, her eyes locked onto me. I tried to go around her, but she chased after me, grabbing my wrist and staring intently, her voice urgent, almost accusatory. "Ethan, what did you do last time to get better? Have you finally managed to control your condition, or are you?" I shook off her hand, laughing coldly. "What's it to you? I was competing for an award, not here to play some twisted love triangle." This time I'd assume she was waiting for Sean. If she ever came again, I'd report her to the teachers for harassment, for disrupting the competition. Just as I finished speaking, Sean emerged from the dorm. "Look who's here. Her boyfriend's out." I stomped past her and turned away without hesitation. When Serafina heard the news, she was already waiting in our usual storage room. As soon as I walked in, I felt a pair of warm hands gently cup my head, followed by a rain of kisses that made it impossible for me to escape. "Ethan, don't dodge. Open your mouth," Serafina murmured. She pulled back, looking at me. I missed you. I was just thinking about you when I was studying. Even though she was kissing me, my sickness was getting worse. I thought it needed to be longer, deeper, to work. After Ashley, just as I expected, she didn't bother me again. But her relationship with Sean was still complicated. Sometimes when Serafina and I were walking around, we'd run into them arguing. And it was always about their feelings for each other. Whenever she saw me, Ashley would instinctively look away. Soon, the competition was over. On the way home, Sean looked pale. I heard he hadn't finished the last 2 questions on the exam, but I didn't care. I only cared about my condition. It seemed to be gradually improving. From kissing every other day, it was now 3 days, 4 days, or even once a week. School was busy, and I often forgot to embrace Serafina. Every time we met again, she'd act pitiful and cling to me. Your sickness is getting better. Don't you think about me at all? You've missed me for 2 days. I need a little interest, she'd say, hugging me tightly, her hand stroking mine, her fingers tracing across my knuckles, sensing every bit of skin contact. She had a new hairstyle, her eyes now visible, and the listlessness was gone. She had a radiant glow, like moonlight. During this time, we were often photographed and posted on the confession board. After a few times, I finally realized something was off. Just showing her eyes had increased her attractiveness tenfold. Everyone saw it as a joke whenever they saw me. Then one day, I was scrolling through WeChat Moments and saw a new post on the confession board. So bored, guys. Asked Serafina's friends and found out she has had a crush on someone for years. I'm heartbroken, sigh. I don't get it. Serafina is so beautiful, why would she like someone? My finger froze, accidentally hitting the like button. I reflexively unliked it. Serafina had someone she'd liked for a long time. I suddenly remembered hearing in high school that Serafina had someone she liked, but she didn't want to interfere with his studies, so there were no dating rumors until graduation. Thinking back, maybe that was him. From the beginning, I was the one who took Serafina away. I was the one who followed her home and took the initiative to ask for treatment. I was the one in control. I felt like I was holding the reins in our relationship. She had someone she liked. Perhaps, like me in the beginning, she didn't dare to let anyone know because of her condition, especially the person she liked. I felt a strange, uncomfortable feeling rise within me, making it impossible for me to stay calm. I texted Serafina, asking to meet her. Serafina's style of dress was my favorite. Just seeing her from behind was enough to make me lose myself. She'd already bought my favorite bubble tea, handing it to me naturally. We talked for a while about school and the competition, and her face suddenly turned red. Ethan, when are we going to hug and kiss today? I suddenly stopped her. Serafina, maybe we should stop. She looked slightly taken aback, but then smiled again. It's not the Dragon Boat Festival yet, but if you want to eat dumplings, I can buy the ingredients and make them for you. She was deliberately pretending not to understand. I repeated myself, and her smile faded. Her eyes locked on mine. Why? I lowered my head. I just feel like it's not fair to you. You only need skin contact, but I need to kiss. She pursed her lips. I don't care. I looked her in the eye. But I care. Before, I only thought about relieving my symptoms, and I didn't think about how this wasn't right. You should have a normal relationship, like Ashley said, not be my cure. She suddenly asked, why can't I be your cure? I was stunned. She spoke in a low, almost choking voice, okay, I agree. After we kiss, I'll leave and won't bother you anymore. So please don't reject me, okay? My throat tightened, and my lips moved, but I could only manage okay. Serafina lifted my face, just like before, but now we were both hiding our feelings. She leaned in, gently touching my nose with hers, then kissing my lips, afraid to kiss too hard, as if afraid I'd disappear. I hugged her tighter, accepting the kiss. A tear suddenly fell on my face, making me feel like I'd been stabbed in the heart. I unconsciously opened my eyes and saw her face covered in tears. Her eyes were still wide open, as if she wanted to memorize my image deeply. When she saw me open my eyes, her gaze flashed with panic. She quickly reached out to cover my eyes, then pulled away. "Don't look at me." She kissed me again, whispering "I like you" with each kiss. I was stunned for a moment, and before I could react, she kissed me several more times, whispering "I like you" each time. I suddenly reached out to cover her mouth. "You like me? Then don't you have someone you like?" She gently kissed my hand, a tingling sensation running through me. I quickly pulled my hand away, instinctively wiping it on my clothes, as if that could stop the itching. But the itching spread straight to the bottom of my heart. "But the person I like is you. I noticed you in high school. I was afraid of interfering with your studies, so I didn't dare confess. When I heard you were going to Peking University, I decided to pursue you. It's just that Ashley was always by your side. I was sad and jealous, but I didn't want to ruin anything. I just wanted to wait. Until she crazily tested your feelings, I was able to wait for you." She kissed the corner of my mouth again, and my body stiffened, my eyes widening in surprise. Looking into Serafina's amber eyes, I realized that the one she liked was me. The guy her friends were talking about was me. Usually, just a short kiss would make me feel better, but this time, for some reason, my symptoms weren't relieved at all. My face was getting hotter and hotter, and my body temperature kept rising. I felt like I was on fire. Only Serafina was cool. I hugged her tighter, pressing myself against her, feeling the coolness she radiated. It was like rain after a drought. I craved the coolness of her body. Looking up, I saw that she had her eyes closed, her cheeks slightly flushed. I tilted my head up and gently asked, "Serafina, do you want to?" She gasped, her face clearly red. She looked away, her eyes shining. "I can't. This has to wait." I lowered my head, suddenly kissing her neck. "I really want to. I've thought it through. Serafina, can we?" Her face was flushed red. In the hotel room, the air seemed thick. Everything around me seemed to blur. I had never felt such a craving before. Lowering my head, I searched for her lips, impatiently, eagerly kissing her. Soon, she went from passive to active, flipping me over and kissing me hard, her voice low and seductive. "Ethan, are you sure? Maybe we should think about this a little more. I'm afraid you'll regret it." Before she could finish speaking, I grabbed her neck and lifted her up, tilting my head and biting her slightly. "Stop hesitating. If it's not you, I'll find someone else." She understood the meaning of my words, "Then I won't let you regret it." At the same time, Ashley was struggling to keep up with the whirlwind of events in her life. She had to deal with the competition, sort things out with Sean, and meet her parents' expectations. She felt so exhausted she couldn't breathe. Suddenly, she regretted testing him that way. Why had she been so drawn to Sean in the first place, only to have him cling to her ever since? He kept asking her if she still remembered Ethan, and the result of those questions was that she had finally identified her feelings. She realized that she liked Ethan, regardless of whether he saw her as just a cure or not. She had had many relationships, and she had always been in control. She only kissed when she wanted to. But ever since Ethan got sick, he had been coming to her for kisses whenever his symptoms flared up. At first, she had really liked that feeling, but gradually, over time, she started to feel bored, even annoyed. She had thought she was annoyed with Ethan for seeing her as just a cure, but now she understood. She was annoyed because she was afraid that Ethan didn't really like her, that he only saw her as a cure. After understanding her feelings, she didn't hesitate. She ran to Ethan's house but didn't find him. Then she called and texted him, but didn't get a response. Suddenly, she thought of Serafina, but how could Serafina possibly be with Ethan right now? She still decided to call Serafina, and just as the phone was about to hang up, it was answered. Ashley frowned, her tone unfriendly. "Where's Ethan?" have you seen him? At first, she had no hope. How could Ethan be with her? Before she could finish speaking, she suddenly heard a soft sound from the other end of the line, a sound that was very familiar to her. When she heard the phone ring, Serafina looked at the screen, saw the caller ID, glanced at me, and my whole body tensed. Then I heard Serafina take a breath, and the call connected. Before I could react, I heard Ashley's voice. Strangely, I couldn't help but want to laugh. My mind suddenly went blank. Serafina laughed freely. Ethan's getting sick. I'm treating him. There was a long silence on the other end of the line, followed by a frantic breath. What was that sound? What are you doing? She had just asked when I didn't hear an answer. She picked up the phone and found that the call had been disconnected long ago. I angrily looked at Serafina, but then I heard her sigh softly. Sorry, I was too happy and accidentally pressed the disconnect button. She lowered her head and kissed me, not giving me a moment to think. Much later, my mind was spinning, my thoughts soaring. Suddenly I heard Serafina whisper in my ear, Ethan, you don't have to worry too much about me. You can use me. I'm willing to let you use me, whether it's as a cure or as a girlfriend, as long as I can be by your side. She lowered her head and kissed me. No one had ever said these words to me so seriously. Such sweet words, I never liked to hear before. But now I found them pleasing to the ear. Ashley had waited a long time for me. When I went home, she suddenly ran out of the dark stairwell and pulled me in, trapping me between her and the wall. She roared and questioned me, Ethan, you're just getting back now. Where have you been? I raised my head and took a closer look to see that her eyes were red. I didn't know how long she had waited, but now I didn't feel anything when I saw her face. The love in my heart had been completely erased by Serafina and time. I shook her hand away. Where I go is none of your business. I had no patience with her. She immediately tightened her grip on my wrist, pushing me against the wall, trapping my whole body under hers. Her eyes flashed, don't you want to kiss? Let me help you, for as long as you need. Smack. I shook her hand away. Without hesitation, I slapped her. The decisive action sent her face snapping to the side. I adjusted my clothes, coldly demanding, you were the one who said you wanted to kiss me, wanted to do all those things with me. Then you got tired of me, and now you regret it. Ashley's lips trembled. She tried to speak several times, but couldn't get the words out. She really shouldn't say anything at all. I'd long since paid off that debt of affection. I turned to leave, but suddenly heard her shaky voice from behind, Ethan, I was wrong. Can you give me another chance? I abruptly stopped, turning back to face her hopeful eyes. Even now, she was hoping I'd change my mind. In the very next moment, I turned around and slapped her. Sorry, women have to sacrifice more than men. Last time, I gave Sean one slap, so this time, you get two. After all, you were the one who started this. Consider us even. As for my parents, I'll talk to them myself. I will tell them about our current situation, and also tell them that we no longer have any relationship in the future, not even as friends. Her eyes flickered slightly. Ethan, do you really have to be this cruel? Yes, I did. But I didn't answer her, turning and walking away. She didn't chase after me. I'd been childhood sweethearts with Ashley for 19 years. Before I got sick, we were best friends in the eyes of both our families. I had secretly loved Ashley, but she didn't seem to notice. In front of me, she would talk about her relationships with other guys, and I would force a smile and offer my blessings, hoping she would stay away from me. But then she would pretend to be a delivery person, knocking on my door when my parents weren't home. Taking advantage of my inattention, she would burst into my house, cover my mouth, lean against the door, and ask me, why are you avoiding me? Ethan, I'm not happy. I miss you. Don't avoid me anymore, okay? Those eyes were so gentle, looking at me so intently, making my heart beat faster. In a moment of weakness, I nodded. Later, when I found out I had this strange illness, I secretly hid in my childhood hiding place, crying for a long time. No one could find me there. I just wanted to cry loudly. But Ashley quickly found me. She told me not to cry, that it was just a small illness. I kept crying. She was silent for a long time before pulling me into her arms. What's there to be afraid of? You just need a kiss. If you need it, just come find me. But I've said it before, once you kiss me, don't go looking for anyone else. I'll always be there for you. From then on, she never loved anyone else. Although we had never confessed or declared our love, in my heart, we had always been boyfriend and girlfriend. I never doubted her sincerity. Maybe it was because I was sick that she pitied me and said those words, but I really liked her. But after only half a year, she got tired of it. I thought only she could cure my illness, but I was wrong. I'd find another cure. 19 years of childhood friendship ended like that. Serafina and I officially confirmed our relationship. After she gave me a bouquet of flowers and a warm confession, I heard my parents say that Ashley hadn't been home for days, going out every day to drink, drinking herself into a stupor. Finally, Ashley's mother had to go pick her up, and her family was extremely worried about her because of this. I nodded, telling my parents the story. My parents were silent for a long time before comforting me. It's okay. Let us worry about other people's families. You just focus on having a good relationship. But unexpectedly, Sean couldn't contact Ashley, so he deliberately blocked me in class. Ethan, did you kidnap Ashley? You're jealous that Ashley chose me, so you told her parents something, causing her to be unable to contact me now, right? He frantically questioned me, trapped in a swamp of love without realizing it. So pathetic and annoying. But I wasn't his friend, nor did I need to persuade people who were blinded by love. Whatever you say is right. Just listen to you. I didn't want to argue, and was about to turn away, but he grabbed my hand tightly. His eyes were clearly red from crying. No one loves her more than I do. What's childhood friendship got to do with it? Ashley's mine now, isn't she? He kept begging me to tell her to answer him. I looked at him with a bit of sympathy, shaking my head to remind him, oh, haven't you seen your exam scores and final grades yet? You failed the course. You didn't make it into the competition either. Congratulations, your wish has come true. Ashley is yours now. He seemed stunned by this good news, finally losing the tense aura he had earlier. It took him a while to recover. What about my master's defense? I was surprised. The professor sent you an email a while ago, didn't you see it? He had missed his chance to defend his master's, but don't be sad, you still have a chance to retake the course. I patted him on the shoulder. Good luck, Sean. If you're really worried about Ashley, why don't you go look for her at the bar? Maybe she's drunk. Since staying at the hotel with Serafina, I had found that my condition had improved greatly. This time, even kissing once every half-month was enough. According to the doctor's diagnosis, it was because I was receiving high-quality love, high-quality kisses and intimacy, so I gradually didn't need those things anymore. Serafina was happy about my condition. That night, she walked me home. When we got to my apartment, I waved goodbye to her. Suddenly, she grabbed the back of my head and gave me a surprise kiss, as light as a dragonfly's touch. That's today's kiss. What about my hug? I reached out to hug her, afraid she wouldn't be satisfied, so I hugged her for a little longer. But seeing her frown, it seemed like she still couldn't be satisfied. Ethan, I think my sickness is getting a little worse. Are you going to hate me? I shook my head in denial. Of course not. You're my girlfriend. You can hug me as long as you want. She didn't mind me seeing her as a cure, and of course I didn't mind either. Besides, I had long understood her intentions. She said softly, I've noticed recently that kissing relieves the symptoms faster than hugging. Can you kiss me again? I blushed, feeling like something was off, but we were boyfriend and girlfriend, so it was normal to kiss. Go ahead and kiss me. I closed my eyes, letting her grab my head and kiss me hastily, forcing my lips apart, not giving me a chance to dodge or breathe. She forcefully took my breath away, unlike before. Now, she seemed like she wanted to swallow me alive. After a long time, I pushed her away, not daring to look into her eyes. I felt like they were deep and dark, like they wanted to devour me. I asked softly, "Is that enough?" The feeling of the sickness was not pleasant at all. I threw myself into her arms, unable to escape. She held my head with one hand, pulling me into a deep kiss. As our lips and tongues intertwined, she whispered, "Still not enough, Ethan. Give me a little more." Our lips and teeth met, and they intertwined. Our shadows were lengthened by the streetlights, inextricably linked. The road behind us was clearly illuminated by the streetlights. Serafina side story. When I was in the 12th grade, I met a flower that was just in full bloom. In order not to affect his studies, I could only secretly bury this feeling in my heart. Until I went to university, I chased after his school. Our relationship became closer and closer, and the time we spent together gradually became comfortable and enjoyable. Although so much time has passed, I have found that my feelings for Ethan have never diminished. On the contrary, the closer I get to him, the stronger my feelings become. Ethan is also starting to pay attention to my differences. My independence and care made him feel very fond of me. He is starting to realize that I am not just a cure for his disease, but also a place to place his feelings.